Hey, what's up, Crypto Army? I'm Travis, your crypto newbie, bringing you my experiences so you don't have to learn things the hard way. Just a reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, and none of my content should be viewed as financial advice. If you like what my content offers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on notifications to get notified about new content when I publish it. It really helps the channel grow and get the content to others that might find it helpful. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the National Credit Union Administration. Now, you might be saying, why are we talking about the National Credit Union Association on a crypto channel? Well, that's a great question. So is anybody surprised that in the United States, credit unions, banks, and most people don't fully understand crypto? The US government has made crypto so confusing with regulation through lawsuit that nobody really feels comfortable doing too much of anything with crypto. Even though a lot of people do, the organizations, especially banks, are a little cautious when it comes to crypto, rightly so, because our lawmakers have made this an incredibly complicated and really confusing topic. Big surprise, right? So the National Credit Union Administration released this notice today that provides some clarity to all the credit unions out there that were asking for it. And now, just to be clear, credit unions, some of them at least, have already been providing links to crypto through third-party providers. That's already existed. It was just really confusing for those credit unions on what they could and couldn't do. That's what this policy basically says is, yes, you can do it. And really, this entire policy, when you really boil it down, that's kind of what it says in a lot of words, which is pretty common for how the US government works. But that's the essence of this, is yes, your credit union can offer you links to third-party crypto. Now, you might be at a credit union already that already offers this service. If not, it's probably coming to you in the very near future. So as you can see here, and this is on the NASDAQ.com, and I'll put all the links for everything that I reference on this channel in the description to make it easier so you can actually go through and read this material. I'm just going to summarize it here because that last one would have taken probably 20 to 25 minutes easily to read through, even if I was just paraphrasing it. It's a lot of information in really small font. It's worth a good read, but I summarized it pretty well. So unless you're a credit union looking for more specifics, you really, as an investor, don't need to know much beyond that. This is the important portion. So nearly 40% of banks will offer crypto services within 3 years. And that's according to a survey. Now, again, I'm talking more about credit unions, but this is another article that came out at the same time. So you should start to see cryptos being offered by your credit unions and banks here in the very near future. I know mine doesn't offer it. Neither one of them. I've got a credit union and a bank, and neither one of them offer it. But a lot more clarity has just been provided, so you might start to see that roll out very quickly, because what person in their right mind, if you're running a credit union or a bank, wouldn't want to tie into billions of dollars in volume? Yeah, it just makes business sense. So we can expect that to be coming pretty soon. Now, is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? If you're cautious about getting into the crypto space because it's just too confusing, why do I have to send a passport? Why do I have to send my driver's license? Why do they need my social security card? So if you're new to the crypto space and you don't know who to trust, that can be a daunting process of, how do I know that I'm sending this to somebody that's not going to run away with my money or not going to steal my identity? Or how do I know it's even secure? They're not well regulated. And you would be right with that. Now, some of these exchanges are better regulated just because the federal regulations have caught up on a lot of this stuff. But that doesn't mean that they can't get hacked, just like any other bank or any other website for that matter. But they generally do have to maintain a certain level of security, and they do have to follow federal regulations for certain things as an exchange. So it's not completely unregulated, but if you're not familiar with where to go, then you wouldn't know which is a good exchange versus a bad exchange. You're pretty familiar with the bank because you can drive down the road and go to the bank or the credit union, and there's a lot of names you just recognize because they've existed for decades. So it's really easy to figure out, go to Wells Fargo or go to, X credit union, because you've lived next to them for your entire life and you probably know the names of the people that are working there. That's not quite the same for crypto. So for you, if you're really cautious about getting into the crypto space and you definitely don't know anything about decentralized exchanges, you don't even know the difference between a decentralized exchange and an exchange, then this is probably a good opportunity for you to get into the crypto space with somebody that you trust to give you good information, or at least link you to somebody they've vetted. If you're one of those people that just are really cautious about getting into the crypto space, this is good news. For everybody else that's kind of been into the decentralized finance and the crypto space for a while, this isn't good news, because this is one of the things that the crypto space is fighting against. Is we don't want the banks anymore. They generally do a pretty poor job of doing everything, and they charge you ridiculous fees for the services, or lack thereof services, that they do provide. And then when they get massive bonuses and they run the bank into the ground and a financial crisis happens, the federal government uses our tax dollars to bail them out, which they in turn turn into massive bonuses for themselves, all the while the bank slowly gets back on its feet after laying a lot of people off and everybody losing their jobs, except for the people that got all those really crazy bonuses. And the bank never pays that money back to the federal government, or reduces the deficit that is continuing to skyrocket like crazy every single year that we go by, because we continue to do these bailouts for companies that should be allowed to fail and be replaced with better banks and better credit unions and better services in general. So if you're in that camp, you're probably not thrilled about this news, because we don't want crypto at every bank and credit union in the country. We would prefer to do it through the decentralized finance, or even through the exchanges, and keep control of our money and not have bad services, and be able to transfer our money for relatively low fees, depending on which token you're talking about, or next to no fee. So these are all real positive aspects. And I'll go back to the example of, if I want to send money to Europe, all I need is a wallet address. I don't need an IBAN number, or I don't need any of these crazy processes that cost me $40 to $100 to transfer. I pay my transfer fee in the wallet, and that might be $3 on some networks, down to less than $1 for some others. And that's preferable to whatever craziness that the bank is going to charge me to do the exact same thing, if it's even possible to get my money to where I'm trying to get it to through the bank, because that's not always a guaranteed thing either. But in the end, this is where we are. Federal regulators say credit unions can partner with crypto providers, so it's coming, and technically it's kind of already been here. As you can see in this article, which was back in June, there's 650 banks and credit unions that are already doing Bitcoin. So it's already here. It's been here in the US for a while. It's just getting more attention today, and it'll probably continue to get more attention, because again, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry that's only going to get bigger over time. So this is here to stay. My recommendation is still to do your own research and understand the benefits and the risks of doing either option, whether you use the exchanges, or you use the bank, or if you use the decentralized exchange or some other mechanism. Do your own research on what are the advantages and disadvantages, and what are you not getting if you go with one versus what are you going to get with the other one. You'll get your security, and you'll get the ability to work within an app or an ecosystem that you're familiar with if you go with a credit union or a bank. You won't necessarily get that with the normal crypto approach that most of the crypto community prefers to use. But as long as you're secure, and I've got a video that walks through security, I highly recommend you watch that, just to make sure that you are being secure. But as long as you're secure with it, the crypto space is fairly safe. You just have to know what scams are out there and what things to watch out for. And it's not much different than a bank, especially if you don't jump on social media all the time and talk to different people and potentially get scammed. But if anybody ever calls you, you can have all the same kinds of issues that you would with a bank in crypto. That's all for today. I just wanted to do a quick update on some regulatory changes and updates, just so you're aware that we're starting to go more the route of integrating crypto with banks and credit unions. Hopefully you found this content helpful. Let me know in the comments. Does your bank or credit union offer crypto? Until next time, stay strong with those diamond hands.